Hi, and welcome to my oral reflection for Tier 2 of How I Survived the Institute of 2015. So, going into this process, I wasn't very sure what we were supposed to do for Tier 2. I knew it had to do with leadership, but I ended up missing orientation, so I wasn't sure what the project was, what we were required to do, etc. So, Monday and Tuesday were just kind of overwhelming and absorbing information. So after the first day of learning about the model and the leadership challenge, I just decided to relate this project to my own life. So my most salient need was finding a job. So how can I market myself to a current district that I sub in was a thought that went through my head. And that's how I came up with my idea. So my Monday afternoon, I was like, great, I have an idea. So how am I going to integrate iPads into the classroom in a more meaningful way was what I ended up coming up with. As one of the schools I sub in has iPads but really only uses them for testing. And it's kind of sad that they spent all the money to buy them without making an effort to put them in use in a proper way. So now that I have my topic, I kind of got stuck. So Tuesday was probably the most stressful day out of the week. I was trying to synthesize the best practices of leadership, modeling the way, inspiring a vision, etc., while I was trying to make an actual achievable project that I could use in a future interview or in my future practice as a teacher. So it was especially more stressful because I didn't know what I actually had to produce. So I didn't end up doing a whole lot on Tuesday. I would kind of jotted down what I thought might be good ideas to use as a way to integrate iPods in the school. So they were tangible ideas. I thought I wanted to do something with a PD to try and get the teachers involved. And I also tried to think of how I could link some of those ideas to the leadership challenge practices. However, once I had a structure, once those lovely rubrics were put on the wiki, it really helped to kind of solidify the direction I wanted to go to with the project. What was also especially helpful was Yanti's PowerPoint on how he ended up taking a school district in kind of a similar direction of the things that he did and how they linked onto these practices. So, and because they were so similar, it kind of helped me to create a concrete direction of what I wanted to do. So after that, it was just a matter of putting it together in a way that kind of was achievable for Friday and for the next 2 weeks, and also that could be expanded upon and manipulated on in the future for different districts. So being in the groups was helpful because most of my group was in a similar situation as me, as the fact that we didn't have a job, but we were looking and we didn't have a challenge in our district to try to achieve or fix, I should say. But it still helped us to work through all our different frustrations and questions because we were all on the same boat. But other members of our group were current teachers and librarians, so it was helpful to kind of seek out their advice on what would make a good PD, what would they want to see being used. If they were integrating iPads, we also did a lot of talking about different types of technology that would be good for these components. So for example, that's how I came up with doing a Symbaloo for trying to curate different kinds of apps as a resource for teachers when integrating them. And also it helped to clarify our vision. One of the days we had to try to think of ourselves as one district and try to think of a whole mission for our district and the individual mission that we were all going to do. So working through that and kind of each having our own little niche in a kind of bigger, broader idea was very helpful as a way of narrowing in on a topic. So that's kind of the process I went through in coming up with this idea of how to integrate iPads into a school that doesn't do much with them. So, but with myself, what really resonated with me and how I worked was the fact that once I had a structure and I had kind of a plan of what I wanted to do, it was just a matter of doing it. So that is definitely a West way to go on the compass that we did. So as this is not a plan that could be enacted this September since I don't have a job, um, it's really hard to kind of envision how I would enact colleagues with this because I don't have any currently. So if I had a job, I would envision kind of me being the instigator for this idea, me being the facilitator. I'd be the one running the PD, but also by being able to bring in teachers who are excited about this stuff and IT people who are interested in supporting it, that can kind of bring a support network to the whole endeavor. So originally I would say that I would be the leader, so to say, but then as more people came into the fray and learned more about the tools and stuff, they would able to support each other, and I would play kind of like a background role in getting this whole thing started. So that's my whole project and my process. So if you have any questions, let me know or hit me up on Twitter. Thanks. Bye.